Ken Alvarez and Daniel Gonzalez, two fighters yet to suffer a pro loss. There's Ken Alvarez, Puerto Rican fighter, 24 years old, 5'8", came in just over 140 pounds, 6-0-2 with 3 knockouts. Had 120 amateur wins, did Alvarez. And there's Daniel Gonzalez, now 25 years old. At 16 years old, he weighed 220 pounds. Mom brought him to a gym to work on his weight, his self-esteem. How about 5'7", 140 and a pro fighter, now 7-0-1. Shadow Murdaugh is our referee. They're scheduled for 6.
Good shot. This right here, this is a good shot. Be my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. When I call for a break, really clean break. Touch the left, let's go to work. Touch him on. Beautiful.
Most of the fights for Alvarez, Joe, in Puerto Rico. All the fights for Gonzalez right here in New York. Alvarez, smaller man, Joe, been as low as 135. Last 3 fights between 137 and 138, while Gonzalez has fought between 145 and 146 pounds 4 times. Alvarez been involved in 3 very close fights already, 2 draws and a split decision win. For me, it means he's been matched tight in competitive fights, or he's short on power and cannot really separate himself in those kind of fights. I know Gonzalez is ready, lightest of his career. Came in 5.5 pounds less than his last fight only 3 months ago. Maybe a quicker start for Gonzalez, maybe. Because he only fought 3 months ago. Alvarez fought 8 months ago. Maybe that inactivity, that rust, takes a minute to get rid of. Maybe it gives Gonzalez a chance to get out of the chute. And if you get a chance to get out of the chute quicker in a 6-round fight, you got a better shot to win.
How about the fact the kid weighed 220 pounds? His mom at 16 years old said, we're doing something about this. Brings him to a boxing gym. Not just loses weight, gives him something that's a career, turns his life around, gives him a focus and a purpose now into his 20s here.
Give that mom credit. You know, she made a decision, an executive decision, like only a mom can make. She wanted her son to be healthier and lighter. She found the way. Not the conventional way. Not every mom would say you go to a gym to lose weight.
What took from Gonzalez as Alvarez tried to fire off that right uppercut and return there. There he comes with it again and then gets Gonzalez into the corner.
You notice that Alvarez drops that right hand. He likes that right uppercut. He drops that right hand to throw it, leaves himself open for the left hook from Gonzalez.
Gonzalez threw that left hook a couple of times right there in that last exchange. Good pace here this final minute of this first round.
See, that's what you want to do. Alvarez controlled range real well there. He stepped out. He got Gonzalez to bite, to reach a little bit. He got him to reach again a little bit, but he's not countering. You make him miss, you got to make him pay, Joe, in this business. Because if you don't, you let him get away with it, they get braver. Looks like the counterpunch here is Alvarez. Looks like the guy, the guy taking the chances is Gonzalez.
Look pretty well matched here, Alvarez and Gonzalez. Of course, our main event is coming up. Cletus Selden facing Johnny Garcia, who's with Bernardo.
Johnny Garcia, you're coming off of 2 controversial results in your last fights. You're coming to Cletus Selden's hometown. How do you deal with the underdog role?
You know, I have no problem being the underdog, coming into somebody's hometown and, you know, and beating them. This won't be the first time, and I doubt it'll be the last.
When you see this matchup, the styles seem to mesh for an all-action fight. What do you expect from Cletus Selden?
For him to come forward and to want to fight, I think it will be all action. You know, I'm the same way. I like to fight. It's not going to be no touching and running. I'm here to fight.
That's what fans want to hear. Look forward to seeing you in the ring.
Thanks, Bernie. Look forward to seeing Garcia and Seldon. You know, Garcia's been in against unbeaten prospects before, has a couple wins against them. We'll see if he can pull it off here against Seldon.
When Bernardo just asked Garcia what he expects, I would have fell off the chair if he would have said, well, I'll find out, or I'll see, I'll feel him out. Because if you don't know what to expect against Seldon, you know what?
Oh, you know exactly what he's coming with.
You don't belong in that ring. You haven't been doing your homework. And you've been in a cave when it comes to preparation. Because Seldon only does one thing. You know, he comes out of that corner and he comes forward and he throws punches. That's it.
That's coming up, our main event. The straight-ahead undefeated fighter with 12 knockouts and 15 wins to start his career. Round 2 here, there was a sweeping right hand from Gonzalez.
Height advantage, length advantage, Alvarez. Jab advantage, I don't know. It's up to him. If he takes advantage of that height and reach with the jab, that's a good way to do it. If you're Alvarez. You're taller, fight taller, but don't stand straight up.
He's defensively flawed at times, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he stands straight up.
Now he's on the attack, and there is blood coming from.
He stands straight up, you know, Alvarez.
Of Gonzalez.
You know, you can be the taller guy, and it's good on the outside, but when you get into that medium range, into that no man's land, that punching range, and you stand tall, you give a lot of target, and he's giving a lot of target now to Gonzalez, and sometimes he takes a picture of the punches. Mr. Alvarez just stands there.
Good work right here being put forth in the midst of round number 2. Once again, a cut opened up over the right eye of Daniel Gonzalez.
Yeah, the man in charge of taking care of that will be Hilario Brazzaro in the corner. And again, you're taller, you're Alvarez, you want to use that height on the outside. But when you get close, like right now, you don't want to stand tall. Then you give just too much target. You want to dip a little bit. Get your head on the side. Even get small when you're in close. There's that right uppercut a minute ago that missed by Alvarez. I think it's, you know, I understand why you're looking for it, Joe, against a shorter guy coming at you. You want to catch him underneath as he comes forward with a punch you might not see. But the way Alvarez throws it sometimes, dangerous punch, exposes himself for the left hook.
I'll tell you, that cut has worsened as this round has gone on.
Yeah, but I also tell you, you know, I've been talking about Alvarez drops the right hand. There it is for that uppercut. Didn't pay a price, but you can see what I'm talking about there. He drops that right hand. See that? I say that quite often. You shouldn't give up defense for offense. And right there, Alvarez gave up defense for offense. He didn't pay a price for it, but it doesn't mean that he won't pay a price before the night's over or somewhere down the road. That has to be corrected in the gym. Again, Joe, on the outside, you'd want to believe that Alvarez could have some kind of advantage. He's turning southpaw now. He switches back and forth.
Watch your heads, watch your heads.
That's telling me maybe he's a little unsure of himself, a little desperate, thinking he needs to, you know, use some trickery a little bit, but he's allowing the shorter man to get in too easily for me. What's the sense of being tall if you don't fight tall? Answer me that one, Mr. Joe.
I would, you know, I'd like to think a guy would fight tall, but, you know, there's also basketball players who look like they should be in the post dominating, and they're out there near the three-point line.
See, that's a great point. That's to my point. I say it every week. It's about your temperament, not just about your physicality, you know, and your God-given physics, but about what your temperament is, what your confidence is, what your belief is. And right there was a pretty good exchange. You know, if you don't have the confidence to stand outside there on the outside and be tall, then you're not going to be tall, even if, you know, you could be 6'8", and it's not going to matter. You have to have the discipline, the belief that that's where you want to be and where you feel best. And again, just Gonzalez being allowed to just get in because the taller guy, Alvarez, just not using that stick, not using one of the best weapons for a tall man, a jab.
And not much is effective here all that much in some of these exchanges with Gonzalez, but he's giving it the look. He's being the aggressor. He's letting his hands go when he does get that real estate.
And you know what I give him great credit for, Gonzalez? Not letting that cut bother him. He's acting like a pro. You know, that blood is streaming again, and he's not letting it bother him. He's doing his job.
You wouldn't know the difference.
No, you really wouldn't. I mean, he's not wiping at it. He's not doing anything. He's just keeping his attention on the guy in front of him and doing work.
Remember, go to the Fight Night Fight Facebook page or fnfvote.com and score along. Now, this fight, plus we got our main event with the undefeated Selden coming up.
Some decent counterpunching by Alvarez. I talk about a lot of times you should not expose yourself while you're throwing a punch. A lot of fighters are not taught properly. And when they throw the punch, they leave themselves wide open, like an uppercut. Watch here. He drops his hand, bang! Leave yourself wide open for that left hook. The right way, dip a little bit. And when you throw it, bang, no opening. That's the right way. Doesn't hurt as much.
It's incredible how useful some of those pieces are in just simply explaining what our viewers hear year after year, fight after fight, and often isn't executed or applied when you see it inside the ring.
Hey, listen, there's some good trainers out there. There's some teachers. There's some that, you know, aren't. I mean, there's some better ones. There's some lesser ones. I mean, it's that way in all sports, in all ways of life, in all walks of life. You know, some guys understand all the details of their job. In this business, there's a lot of trainers that don't. There's some that do.
There wasn't much on that right hand from Gonzalez that was available for him.
See, again, you see the shorter man, Gonzalez, red, white, and blue, and he's just being allowed to walk in. No jab, you know, deterring him. You know, there's no roadblock for him to go through. Joe, you heard early on that Doug mentioned about the passing of Oscar Diaz.
Very saddened by that, Teddy.
Yeah.
Very affected by that.
Yeah, we all are. Oscar Diaz passed away yesterday. I want to send, as Joe said, our prayers and condolences to his family from all of us at ESPN. He was a fighter to his core, which was never more evident than the past 7 years as he fought every day to live. He was also just a great person with a great smile, someone with that great heart. Really never dies to me, Joe, and they just, and then it goes a knockdown.
Let's pick up that conversation a little later, because I do want to talk about that for a bit with the passing of Oscar Diaz.
And again, there's the taller man paying a price for letting the shorter man just go where he wants to go.
As Gonzalez scores the knockdown here in round 4. How does Alvarez look to you on his feet, Teddy?
You know, he looks a little unsteady. Those are long legs to get steady, and when they're long, they wobble a little more. And they're wobbling a little bit more. Alvarez is those long, thin pieces of spaghetti that they look like right now.
And came in without a loss with those 2 draws that you said could be a sign of the inability to separate himself. 6-0-2 the mark on Alvarez heading into this fight tonight.
And again,
in the way of a right hand again.
Just too easy for Gonzalez. Again, the shorter man that has to walk in, he walks right in. He doesn't have to get past anything. But gameness from Alvarez. Give him credit.
Fighting right to the end.
Yeah, same place. Over here.
I don't know if Alvarez has a real poor chin, but watch this left hook. It's a slap. It's a push from Gonzalez. I mean, that didn't look like a punch. Take a look again. Watch, it's a slap. I talk about it, not turning it over. Did not turn it over. Then he just pushed. I think it was more matter. You know, I'm confused by this. It's more matter, obviously, watching those pictures. And there it is again, of Alvarez being off balance. But he was wobbly. He was affected. He did stop throwing punches. His legs did show distress. So you wonder about, you know, is Alvarez's chin really that poor? Or was he just off balance and, you know, just kind of upset him, to be honest with you, getting put on the floor, and it shook him up, and he behaved that way.
Teddy, we may have a moment here to re-engage in the conversation on the passing of Oscar Diaz, and obviously I broadcast the fight that Diaz was,
which I did too, with you,
and with you, and that moment for me personally is quite scarring. I can only imagine for Delvin Rodriguez what these 24 hours are like, and what for many years have been like. But
yeah, thoughts out there.
Not to get too deep into it, because I really can't go there personally, having experienced what we experienced, being that close to
don't do that. All right, let's go.
A man at that moment. But you were continuing, and I'll let you do that.
No, that's a good point actually, Joe, because there's a lot of people that suffer from this, and obviously Diaz's family, and that's who I was thinking of first. But also Delvin Rodriguez, and our thoughts are with him. A great kid, and what he's thinking about. But it's this business, and it's the nature of this business. Sometimes it can be part of it, just like it can be in other sports like football. But at the end of the day, what I was finishing saying was that, you know, for 7 years, Delvin hung in there. I mean, you talk about being a fighter. What's a greater testament to that? And I just think that a person with that kind of great heart never really dies. For me, they just rest for a while, but they're always not far away. Rest well, Oscar.
You know, Delvin Rodriguez is in the midst of doing this broadcast of this fight on our ESPN Deportes, and he actually spoke about being so sad, and he said he wishes he could turn back the clock, and says he wishes he could turn back that clock and never have taken that fight. Last 30 seconds here of round 5. Gonzalez scored the knockdown in round 4.
And again, so this fight is just a matter of, it's been consistently the same. And there was a good counter try by Alvarez, and he should do more of that, because Gonzalez is jumping in, getting away with jumping in from too far away, and Gonzalez not making him pay a price. And that's been the problem for Gonzalez, allowing the shorter man to get in too easily, and again, get in with that left hook.
Joe and Teddy back with you ringside here at the Paramount Theater, as we have come to the 6th and final round between Gonzalez and Alvarez. Let's look at Teddy's scorecard as it stands right now heading into this final round. Apologize for the technical issue and the delay in showing you that, but there it is, the 10-8 4th round with the knockdown score. It's a late rally in that round by Alvarez.
I got it. Step back.
Yeah, that score was wrong, guys.
Okay.
But that's okay.
What do you got?
You asked for it, it's going to come. Here it is.
Gonzalez in control.
I knew we could get it right.
Well, look at that down there, Teddy. It says follow Teddy on Instagram at Teddy_Atlas.
Yeah, that's my daughter, Nicole.
She's your social media coordinator?
She's my social media coordinator. And she's in charge of that. She's doing a great job with that. And the fans at home, if you would do me a favor, I love you and appreciate everything you do, allowing us to come into your living rooms every weekend, every Friday night. Make her happy and go to that thing, whatever it's called. What's it called? Instagram. Go to that thing and
well, you know, it'd be
build it up a little bit more.
Your cell phone right now and give a little all-access Instagram to this final round of good action between Gonzalez and
You think I know how to do that?
Well, Nicole can do it for you. We got great action here. She can give the fans an all-access look that they're not getting on TV. A great scene here, and then it would drive some Instagram followers because they're getting something they can't get otherwise.
Well, talk to her because, you know, you might as well ask me to break down an atom.
I'm going to take you to some social media courses, some great social media marketing courses.
She wants to get the number up to 10,000. So
what are you at right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Follow your own social media.
I don't know. We're not there. We're not there. And the fan, please get us there so my daughter.
It's good action right here. Center of the
great
ring.
action.
Oh, good sweeping right hand from Gonzalez, and Alvarez stood up to it, and now he finds himself down. And they are counting this as a knockdown. Instagram that, Teddy.
Yeah, it would be nice.
7, 8, come to me. Come
I'm not sure Alvarez would appreciate it.
Second knockdown of the night scored by Daniel Gonzalez.
Blood streaming from the eyes of Gonzalez.
Yeah, what's it matter, says Gonzalez.
Doesn't matter.
He's
the
got
winner.
the blood streaming down since early in the second round, and he fought the way a fighter's supposed to fight. Another look at the knockdown scored in the 6th and final round.
There's the right hand that hurts him.
Alvarez down.
Yeah, right hand, left hook hurts him, and then a little push helps him. I don't think he was going down without that little push, but the punches hurt him. And
rooms here at the Paramount Theater. You got the Jazz room, you got the Burlesque room, you got the room where Teddy Atlas had the fight planned. And here you have an unbeaten fighter staying that way, according to Teddy, in impressive fashion, with 2 knockdowns scored by Daniel Gonzalez in a 6-round fight against Ken Alvarez. Facebook fans saw it 3 rounds to 3. Keep in mind the 2 knockdowns scored there. And as for the judges, we go up to the ring to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here at the Paramount, we go to the judges' score totals. John McKay, 59-53. Kevin Morgan and Don Trella both scored this bout 58-54. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision. From Woodhaven, New York, Danny El Gallo Gonzalez.
Gonzalez now 8-0-1. Alvarez suffers his first loss. Got our main event coming up. Got our